So yeah, that's a little bit about me. There was supposed to be another slide, but then there was a problem there, so I deleted the slide. So this is a fun fact about me. I train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Anyone here train Jiu-Jitsu or and know anything? No? No? All right, it's fine, no worries. So one of the games that I work on is Giga Bash. I think most of you here will know. Yeah, so this is the game that we worked on. I work on mainly the environment stuff. I built the art direction for the logo design, the main menu, UI, UX, basically everything other than characters. Yeah, so everything outside other than the characters is all done by me. I also work on like other games like Last of Us 2, Uncharted 4, Uncharted Lost Legacy, Injustice 2. What else? Amazon games. The recent one, what's it called? No, the other one. New World. Yes, correct. Yeah. So, yeah, New World. I didn't really work on it, but I was managing and lead the team for the game. So today I'm gonna just introduce a little bit about the school. Bear with me a little bit. So the school is called Digital Blacksmith. We're an art school, not a blacksmith. So what we do is we help fresh graduates and artists by leveling up and providing accelerator courses that can help improve their portfolio. So we are not direct competitors with any college, any schools, any university. We are accelerator programs. Just want to make that sure in case there's any educators here, be like, who's this guy trying to fight in my industry? Just in case, just in case. So these are some of the courses that we have. Environment concept art, taught by a guy named Siraj. He's one of my friends. And then just a few days ago, we launched a new course, the prop design for the concept art industry as well. And these are some of the student works that is done by the environment class. This is also, whoops, sorry, mentorship class is supposed to be a screenshot of the mentorship Discord channel where we help students develop their IPs, create a new portfolio for them. So we have things like that on our platform. So these are some examples that we did during the class. We also have like a uh, free feedback channel in our Discord. So this is one of the examples that is asked by this guy on our Discord. So we will give feedback from the artists in the industry. So if you guys want some free feedback for your design or concept art, anything, modeling, animation, feel free to join our Discord and we will give you free feedback. It's free. I know Malaysians love free stuff. So yeah. We're also currently launching our recruiting mentors program on the phase one. We're currently recruiting a lot of mentors. We will launch it somewhere around mid-October. Really excited for that. And there's also more interesting courses and workshop and sharings coming up in our Discords. So if you are interested to know more about it, feel free to join us. Of course, enough of the introduction. Today, what I want to talk about is design, concept art design, or anything related to design in the game industry. All right. So the topic for today is forging concept art one step at a time. So it's a step-by-step guideline to design something. All right. So bear with me, it's a little bit of a lecture, because I was a lecturer for like 4.5 years. I hope it's going to be fun for you guys, because I know it's a late afternoon, it's raining outside, you know. So strap in. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. In case you guys can't see the slide, there you go. So the learning outcome for today's class, right, is first introduction, the purpose of concept design. Second is how do you plan and strategize for design, which is something that not a lot of people talk about. I believe some of you might attended some concept art workshop, and usually what the instructors or the lecturers or the speakers, they're just gonna be like, yeah, this is how I do it, and then just start demoing. Right? So not a lot of people talk about how do you plan it. So this is something that I'm gonna dive deep into today. And lastly, it'll be Q&A. So mindset and ideation, that's the whole thing we're going to talk about today. Not too much on skill sets. It's more about preparing and strategizing. Anything in your life, you need to strategize. If you build a business, you need to strategize your business. If you make a game, you need to strategize how to sell the game. So same things with concept design. It's all about strategizing and planning. So why do you need to learn design? Anyone knows? Let's play a game. Anyone know why you need to learn design? Anyone? You get free donuts at the back if you can answer. No worries. Let me warm you up first. So why do you need to learn design? First thing is design is everywhere. The chair you're sitting on, the camera you're looking at, your phone you're using, the glasses you're wearing, everything is design. Okay. Second thing is it's a problem-solving skills because design is objective, right? Design is objective. Art is subjective, but design is always objective because design is there to solve problems. Like for example, if you made a game, you design a door. How big is the door? How wide is the door? Is the door locked? Is the door open by pushing in or pushing out? Everything has to be designed properly. So design is about problem-solving skills. So the more you learn about design, the more problem-solving skills you develop. And the thirdly is see things differently. You either hate the world a little bit or you love the world a little bit more, right? Because design is also considered like UI, UX, right? Sometimes you open the door, it's supposed to be push, but then you realize it's pull, then you hit the door, right? So it depends how you see it. So what makes a good design? right? Aesthetically pleasing, it has to look really nice. And secondly, is to solve a problem, like what I mentioned just now. Design is to solve a problem, right? It has to look good and it has to solve a problem. And lastly, oh wait, sorry, not lastly, this is an example. So form is about beauty, right? Aesthetically pleasing. And then function is about providing solution, how it moves, how it opens up, right? And lastly, you have to evoke emotions. Yeah. So a design that can gives you a very strong emotion means it's a very good design. And speaking of that, is there any characters in your mind that is just stay in your brain rent free? Anyone? Any character? Sephiroth. Okay, yeah, long white hair guy. Looks a bit gay, but okay. Anyone else? Nothing wrong being gay, by the way. Nothing wrong being. Just one. Yeah. Yes. Sorry. Okay, I'm not too sure what's that, but is it the blue color guy? No. Okay, I have no idea. I'm so sorry. Anyone else want to try? Okay, yeah, Kratos. Yeah, that's a very good one. So with that, let's do a really quick exercise. Okay. Do you guys have pencil and pen? No? If yeah, if you have, you can bring it out. If not, you can just use your mental drawing board and try to imagine what you want to do next. Okay. So for those who have pens and paper, you can prepare it real quick. I'm gonna give you like maybe 5 seconds, 5 seconds to prepare. All right, cool, cool, cool. Okay, let's do a really quick exercise. Without Googling, without references, without anything, just based on your imagination. If you don't have a pen and paper, just use your mental drawing. Try to draw Darth Vader in 10 seconds. Ready? Let's kickstart. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, stop. Darth Vader in 10 seconds, yeah? So for those who have no pen and paper, just imagine what it looks like in your head. Okay? And then show it to the person next to you. Or for those who have drawn, show it to the person. If you don't have, then it's fine. Yeah, but you have, you can show it to the person next to you. It looks a bit like that, right? For those who don't know Darth Vader, this is Darth Vader. I'm assuming most of your drawing looks like that. Yeah? Yeah? Does anyone of you look like a dildo? Yes? No? Yeah, so I've been running this experiment every single class. Most of the time, a dildo came out, right? You get the gist of it, right? You get the gist of it. Like there's a triangle head, eye, the mouth, breathing thing, right? And then the buttons on the chest. So why is it so iconic, right? Why is it evoke such strong emotion into your head? It's because of references. It referred to a lot of references back then. So we all know that Darth Vader is based on samurai. That's one of the first one. After that, you get Nazi soldiers. After that, you get the gas mask from World War I and World War II. And then you get like biker's gangster that looks really badass and really cool and scary at the same time. And if you realize, all of them, they evoke one thing, fear, right? So when you saw Darth Vader came out of the scene, you hear his breathing, you hear his footstep, you get goosebumps, and you're like, holy shit, then you see the red color lightsaber came out, right? It just gives goosebumps all over your body. So that is what they're trying to reference, which is why references is very important. And if you see like the other characters in Star Wars, the whole empire is basically referencing Nazis. Everything is Nazis. You look at the outfit here, outfit here. You look at the Death Star's operator's helmet, it's very similar with the World War I Germany soldiers' helmets, except without the torn at the top. So how do we do concept design then? Right? It sounds quite complicated, but don't worry, we'll do it step by step. A very brief way of explaining it is we have research and references. Then we have the sketches and the blockout. Then lastly, we have the final and the co-ops. And in between those steps, there's tons of feedbacks and iteration. Right? So your design will get rejected over and over and over and over and over again. That's usually how it works, right? It's very similar with game development as well. So these are just some really quick examples to show you from the topic. So let's say, for example, the title is A Vengeful Cultist Villain, right? Go through all the process, references, then you get the design. And you can see how the designs are reflected from the references, right? I hope you guys can see that, it's not just me. Yeah, and then this is another one, another example with, let's say I add on another extra idea, which is an obsession with cute stuff. You try references, then you get something like that, right? It's based on ugly cute. So ugly cute, implement to the design, you get something like that. So how do we really start then, right? There's a lot of methods to do concept art. This is just one of it. Okay, I'm just sharing you one of the method to do it, and this is a guideline I'll share to all my students previously, and you don't need to read this. This is just a guide that I show them how do you do it step by step in a very structured way. So again, remember this is just a guideline, it's not a rule. It's not that concept art must be done in this way, but it's a really good guideline for you to do it in this way. Okay? So even though it's just a guideline, they are very, very important. You will see why down the road. So the goals of the guideline first is to state out problems in the simplest form, right? Makes life easy. Your life is very complicated and it's very hard enough. So let's keep things in our workplace as easy as possible. Second is to narrow down design decision making so that you don't have too many decisions to make. So you have decision fatigue. So you want to keep things simple again. Third one, generate keywords as a description for your design. And lastly, using keywords to search for the images as references and inspiration, like what you saw from Darth Vader. So these are the goals. These are the goals for the guidelines. All right, I'll go through them one by one with you. Don't worry. Let's get started. The first one, state out things in the simplest form. Brief usually comes in a very different format. You get things like that, which is very amazing because the art director probably arranged things nicely for you in a Miro board or in the or in any software that you use. Very nice, very clean. But there are also times where you get brief like this. Your art director just walk up to you, hey, I just want something like that. Okay, then you walk away. Right? This can be happen in the office quite often. Right. So this is one example. We're gonna use this example for the rest of the sharing. So what we want to do is extract information from the story and turn them into the simplest form. And one of the way is who, what, where, when, how, why, and what are the feelings that you want for the design. So based on this phrase, hey, I need a character design from Meiji era. He used to be a samurai and got outcast due to betrayal from his comrade. His family got slaughtered in the process, and now he seeks vengeance after years of hiding. Imagine him being samurai version of John Wick, wielding two swords. But the problem is he lost one of his arms. So we need to find a way to design how he can wield two swords. And I need it by lunchtime though. God bless you. So with that, normally what I'll do, if this is a workshop, I'll ask the students or whoever find the answers. But because we don't have a lot of time, I'm just going to give you the answer straight away. So you can find out that if you break it down, there's Meiji era, the samurai, outcast due to betrayal of his comrade, family got slaughtered, seek vengeance, years of hiding, John Wick, which is the feeling, and then two swords. This is the simplest way of breaking down the brief. From there, you write it down on this document, right? So these are the feelings, and these are the simplest version of the brief. So from there, you don't need to constantly look at the paragraph every single day. You just need to look at this, and then that's it. My job is here. So now you settle the first step, right? State out the problems in the simplest form. Your life is easier now. So now you want to make your life even easier, which is narrow down your design decision. I'm guessing when I was reading the brief just now, some of you might have some sort of image in your head, right? How does this samurai guy looks like, right? Yeah, and probably like he looks very grungy. He has a samurai hat. Maybe the armor is a bit broken, desaturated in color, right? But then there are a lot of possibility to design that. I'm pretty sure everyone's mental image is different from each other. So this is why narrowing down the decision making is very important. So from here, I like to call it the no-no square. So basically the constraints for your design. What is the constraints in the brief? Hey, study. Let's play with this. Let's say we have another brief, right? A colony who lives on a flooded, rainy world. And the constraint in the design is the people there need to be protected from rain on a daily basis. They are poor, religious, and don't believe in book knowledge, hence no advanced technology. Anyone has any idea what show is this? No? No, not Death Stranding. No, not Avatar. It's quite a not a very popular show, but I'll show you later. So based on those constraints, I look for these references, right? They live by the sea, it's always raining, so I thought about like kelp forests. I thought about like more religious related images, you know, like covering the face with this kind of like rope design. And then I thought about like this kind of sarung design where people live by the sea, fishermen, you know, with this kind of like jumpsuits. And then from there, this is the design. It's not done by me. It's done by this artist called Adam Middleton from Foundation. Anyone know the show? Yeah, it's a good show. It's a really good show. Yeah, so you can see that the design, a lot of them are influenced by the references here. And bear in mind, these references are not looked by, it's not from this guy. These references is looked from, this is searched out by me, myself. And you can see how all this like shape design from the jumpsuit and the sarung design is all implemented here, right? You can see that. And then you can see the patterns here on the shoulder. It's all from the kelp forest. Yeah. So everything is based on references. Very, very important. And with the constraint, it gives you this kind of direction. Then if you switch it around, if let's say a colony who lives on a hot and windy desert, people there need to be protected from the heat, wind, and sand, religious and common folk, you get a very different design, right? Can you guess what show is this? Yeah, yeah, listen up good. Yeah, so these are the references that I found myself, and you can see these are the design, right? You get what I'm trying to say. Yeah, you see how how recognizable are they from the references, right? So what are the constraints in the previous brief then? I'm not gonna ask you guys to think about it. I'm gonna give you the answer because of time. So one of it is he lost one of the arm, and then but he need two swords, right? That's the main constraint. But then there's actually one more constraint that people always miss when I do the test with everyone, which is the deadline needed by lunchtime. Which remember, that's the most important constraint, right? If your boss asks you, I need it by lunchtime, you have to give it by lunchtime. Doesn't matter how you solve it. Could be a rough sketch, could be a research of images. You need to reach the deadline. So now that you narrow down the design decision making, you need to generate keywords as description for your design. Mind mapping. How many of you hate mind mapping here? Yeah, I can tell. I can tell. When I did this deck with the design student downstairs, all of them raised up their hand. It's like, wow, fuck mind mapping. Why? Yeah, and then the lecturer is just like, yeah. So mind mapping is very important, guys. It's very, very important. I don't do it physically, but I did it once when I was a younger artist. I did it over and over again, and then now I can do it sort of mentally. So for students, I always encourage them to do it physically first. Once they get used to it, then they can just do it mentally. So this is just a guideline. You don't need to read them. But basically, what mind map does is when you do mind map, don't think about the final design. You want to be as objective as possible. Don't think about the final design yet. And then focus on just the keywords you can think from the needs. All right. And lastly, find similarities from the keywords. We're gonna do it. Try on the same brief. We're gonna do exercise together. I think we have time. Yeah. So based on this, what kind of keywords can you get? Let's go back. Yeah. Can you like just randomly throw any keywords based on the brief that we went through just now? AG. Okay. What else? Right. Yeah, that's a good one. Angry. Yeah. What else? Revenge. More. People from the back. Sorry. Despair. Okay. Honor. Yeah. What else? Bold. Sorry. Black. Yeah. Isolation. Samurai. Long hair. Yeah. What else? Gut spilling. Yeah. Blood. Right. Angry. Vengeance. Fear. These are all the keywords that I did. So thank you for sharing the keywords as well. So basically, this is the whole guideline when we do all we do the whole guideline stuff of breaking things down to the simplest part, and then like finding the constraints, doing the mind map, and etc. etc. So from there, after you generate the keywords, now you're gonna go use the keywords to search for references. Right? So that's how Darth Vader was designed. Based on the keywords, based on the brief, they generate a lot of these keywords. From there, they're trying to find, okay, what is scary at the time? Right? What is the thing that makes you feel like, oh shit, let's run for our life, let's not fight this guy, right? So before we go into that, there's two kind of references here based on the same word, which is veil. What are the feelings you get from these two references, two group of references? Okay. What else? What are the feelings between these two group of? Okay, cultist, religious. What else? What else? What are the differences then between this and this? They are both the same thing. Can you tell? Romanish. Okay. Yeah, it's not wrong. But what a bigger picture? Okay. What else? That's good. What else? Okay, yeah. But don't you feel that this group of references kind of makes you a bit dry? Where this group of references makes you feel, holy shit, I can do a lot of things with this. Do you feel that? Let's say I were to give you a brief to draw something, you look at this group of references and this group of references, this group gives you more inspiration or like feelings, it evokes more feelings. Do you feel that? Let's try another group. Anger. Both group of references are about angry person. But this one gives you way more stronger emotion, correct? Compared to the one here. Yeah. So why am I showing you this is because when you look for references, when you look for images or inspiration, there's two kinds of inspiration and references, which is literal and conceptual. Okay, so this artwork is done by Dima. He's the really legendary concept artist for Destiny 2. For those who play, freaking good game. Good game to do team building if you have a company team building game. Destiny 2. Yeah. So as you can see here, this gun, this rifle, is basically a combination of this rifle with all these two kind of references. Right? It's all about like black, spiral metal, sharp, rugged, shiny, and you can see all this shape language in the references. Right? You can see this also inside this. You get the rough idea of it. So that's why in references, you need these two kind of things. First is the literal references, which is how things looks like, how it looks like, how do you know how to draw it. Second thing is conceptual references, how it feels like, how does your design feels like when you're drawing it. So you need both of them because without either of them, your design can either look very dry or can look very vague and very not understandable in a sense. Yeah. So I'll give you some awesome examples why mind mapping is so important. So these are, again, it's done by the same guy called Dimar. His work is freaking amazing. I never meet him, but his work is just gorgeous. So you can see these are all the references he has. And from there, he will go into all this design. All his design are based on the same group of references, the literal and the conceptual. This is also another group of the design done by him. So this is the character, Hunter. So he look for everything scout based. And then this is the tanker guy, Titan, if you play Destiny 2. So you look for everything that's more tankish, right? Rugby players, armor. And then you have the Warlock, where everything is a bit more magical, AoE damage. So you get something a little bit more furry, and have some sort of like weird patterns design as well. So you can see all three different designs are very different, but they are in the same group of ideas. Yeah, so references is very important. This is another one. It's done by Aaron Beck, a concept artist from New Zealand. So you can see that this gun, this rifle, everything here, all these dots is because of the teeth of the crocodiles, right? Because to make the rifle looks more aggressive. And you can see this shape here, the rifle and the stand of the rifle is based on the claw of praying mantis. So everything is designed on the purpose to make it aggressive. Another example from the same guy, Aaron Beck, you can see this IP that he's done called Keloid. All these soldiers is based on this kind of predator skeletons, snake heads, in order to make them look more and more scary and more aggressive. So every design decision has a reason. This is how you're going to use keywords to search out for references and inspiration in order to design your design. Okay. So as you all know, references are very important. You saw all the case study, you saw all the examples just now. It's very, very important. I know for those artists here, you probably heard this a lot of time from your lecturers, maybe modelers as well, animators as well. I'm pretty sure your art directors or your lecturers in the past, they've been saying like references, 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 references. A lot of you guys don't do that. So yeah, yes, I'm just going to drill this into your head just in case. But then the idea is where to find them, right? There are different places. Literal references you can look for from the books, museums, exhibitions, documentaries, how-to explanation videos, Google Image, or even Yandex. Anyone know what Yandex is? Okay, some of you know. Yandex is a very powerful Russian search engine. I know they didn't do something good in the world, but their search engine is pretty good. So I'm not saying violence is good, but whatever the tech is giving us, I'm just gonna use it because it's really, really good. So to give some context is that you can take a picture, put it into Yandex, it can gives out every single different angle of that particular picture, the item in the picture. They can even tell you where to buy it, how much it costs, what's the name of it, which Google can't really do it. So that's why it's very, very powerful. So if you're designing something related to European, Russian, feel free to use this search engine. For conceptual references, which is something more feeling-based, you can search it for like non-concept art books, museums, exhibition as well, experiences in your life, Tumblrs, and Pinterest. And of course, lastly, the most important one I want to share to all developers, artists, tech guy here, is that go out and touch grass. This is very important. Yeah. Doesn't matter what department you are, you need to go out and touch grass. Doesn't matter you're a programmer, you're not in the art department, this is very important. You need to go out and touch grass. First, it's not only good for your health, it's also good for your experience. You know what is out there. right? You know what's going on out there, how it feels like to design certain things, okay? Just as simple as opening the door. If you want to design a door, doesn't matter you are the designer, you are the modeler, the animator, the programmer. To understand how does it feel to open the door, touching grass helps you a lot, okay? So now you know the whole goals of the guidelines. You went through the whole guidelines. It is time to draw, or it's time to design. So I'm going to use it for a character design base to show you some examples. For millennials, Gen X, and boomers here, you probably watched some sort of show in the past. The cooking show is like, oh, I'm going to cook this, and then ding, the food is here, right? I'm not crazy, right? The millennials know, right? Because I know Gen Z probably don't know what's that, right? Right. Yeah, so to do that, the same thing, ding, my answer is here. So I have the literal references, I have the conceptual references, then I have the sketches. So this is why I designed based on the brief. And then I have the final one as well. It's not done yet, but you roughly get that idea. Yeah. So my idea was that, yeah, he lost his arm, but then maybe he designed some sort of like replaceable arm that he can like pick and pull, put on top. You know, he has a Wolverine claw or whatever other weaponry that he can put it onto the arm so he can have two wielding swords. So that's my idea for the character design. And why he doesn't look like a samurai armor is because I'm thinking maybe he need to hide himself in the civilian places because he was hiding for years. That's why I put him like this kind of civilian outfits and also like some sort of fur coat on top just to keep him warm and also like to blend in with the civilians. Well, then what's next? Now that you learned all these things, you saw the results. So what's next? How do you further improve your design thought process or design ideas? Well, first thing is you need to learn design principles. If you are the concept artist, you're modelers, you're concept artists or modelers, probably you need to learn design principles. For animators, then it will be like the animation principles. Then you need to have feedback loop. Constantly have feedback loop. Once you design something, ask someone, hey, what do you think about this? You'll be surprised. A lot of the time in the office, a lot of the work that's done by my team, at the end, it looks like a penis. I swear to God, I hope I can show you the examples, but I can't because it's PNC and all. Yeah, you'll be surprised sometimes, you know, they show me, oh, what do you think, Siew Hong? I was like, dude, it looks like a penis. Right, so I'm kind of brand as the penis observer guy in the office. Every time they show me, oh, dude, look at penis. Yeah. So you'll be surprised. So feedback loop is very important for that. It is keep designing, you know, constantly practice, constantly fail, constantly practice again in order to be better. Teach someone. What you learn today, whatever you can grab, probably you can't get 100% of it, but whatever you can grab, teach someone after that. Because if you can teach someone, means you really understand the subject itself. So by teaching someone is really good for you. And lastly is to enjoy the process. Have fun. Design is meant to be fun. Game industry is meant to be fun. So don't overstress yourself and burn yourself out. Okay. We are making something that people are enjoying it. So the people who are making it should be enjoying it as well. Yeah. So in summary, this is what you learned today. What is good design? Aesthetically pleasing and solve for problems. Form versus function plus evoke emotions. And the big step of it is the step of the design. What are the needs and wants, constraints, mind mapping. Go out and touch grass is the last one. So I understand there's too much to digest. Don't worry, take it step by step, or you can join the class for digital blacksmith. Yeah, step by step, focus on what you can do. Yeah, that's why the title is called Forging Concept Art Step by Step. It's always solving problem one step at a time. I know it's a lot of process, even in game development as well. It's a big chunk of thing. When you start a game, you'll be like, oh, I want to make a game, but then you have a lot of problems. How do you sell it? How do you market it? How do you make it unique? How do you do this? How do you do that? Then you're gonna get overwhelmed. Right? So the idea of it is do it step by step. Solve one problem at a time. Right? Life is very hard, so keep it simple. Keep things simple. Yeah. So that's the end of my talk, end of my lecture. Uh, this is a feedback form. If you have any feedback for me, if you think I'm talking too fast, too slow, too boring, feel free to put in your feedback. Yeah, you can just scan it and just let me know. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. Do you have time for questions? Yeah, cool. Any questions from everyone? You can ask me anything like doesn't have to be the school, the design can be like Gigabash, Fashion Public, anything. Usually it's about one character from start to finish is about 10 days, 8 to 10 days. Yeah, 8 to 10 days. Sketches is about 2 to 3 days. Then after that, the rest is just polishing. Yeah. Yes. What do you mean by that? Like, is it some sort of props, or it's like something that you can't touch and feel? Or okay, okay. Okay. So your question is that how do you design something that you never seen before in this game that you're building, right? Let's say for yours it's a digital world, right? It's the same thing. You have to go back to the brief first. So you need to first make the brief and the art direction of like, okay, so if let's say this is a digital world, what kind of digital I want to make? For example, if I'm guessing digital world is considered in a sci-fi setting, right? So if you look at just sci-fi topic itself, sci-fi range from a lot of different kinds. Right? You get Death Space kind of sci-fi, you get aliens kind of sci-fi, you get Mass Effect kind of sci-fi. So in order to determine what is your digital world, you need to first identify what is the look of it. What's the rule in this world? Maybe the rule could be everything is pixelated, right? But then it's 3D pixelated. That could be one rule. So anything you design, it has to be based on that. Then after that, you have the rule. Let's say you're designing the lamppost, right? Or how do you determine this lamppost have to look like in this world based on this rule? Maybe the lamppost first, it has to look like a lamppost. That's a rule number one, right? People look at it, they need to know, yeah, this is a lamppost, but in a very different design. So what makes a lamppost lamppost? First, there's light, then there's a stick. So it could just be like a pixelated long stick and then one spotlight, and then that's it. That could be your design. Or it could be like, let's say in this world things can float, right? Then how do you design a lamppost floating, but it's pixelated in 3D? Right? So first thing is definitely you need to have light bulb. So that light bulb itself already identified to people that this is a light source. Then maybe you just need to design, okay, maybe there's some sort of cover on top, and then there's some sort of like maybe spinning fan to make it look like he's floating on the sky. Right? Then you get the design. So in a short answer is that you need to make the rule for the world. What is the rule for this world before you start designing it? And from there you break it down to simple terms. What are the rules? What are the directions that you want to go for? Ideally, you should have some sort of references, and then you have some sort of like references that you don't want to go for. So you have the not to do and the to do. And from there, your designer will know what is the range. And from there, he can explore. So once you start exploring, slowly you get the idea of like, okay, this is the direction I want to go for. Does that answer your question? Yeah, cool. Any other questions? Hmm. Hmm. So what I understand is that how do you so your skills means is like what the drawing skills itself, is it? Or the skins? Oh, okay, okay. So in a sense where you're changing the skin of the character, but then you want to retain it. Okay, okay. So what I understand correctly is let's say you're designing the character's skin, and then now you want to change a different skin, but you need to make sure that the feeling of the original character is still maintained in the new skin. Is it? Okay. Um, for skin design is a bit different. I'm assuming the skin design is like Valorant's Overwatch character skins, right? Yeah, yeah. So for skin design, it's a bit different because skin design, what is the purpose of skin design is that people will like it and they will buy it, correct? So it's all based on what the consumer wants. So a lot of time, your brief can be make sure it looks cool, make sure people will buy. Yeah. So a lot of time is that. But there are, of course, there are a lot more detailed brief. For example, like maybe they have different tiers of the skin. So they will tell you like, okay, this is the top tier, this is the middle tier, this is the low tier. I want them all to be cool, but this has to be the coolest, this has to be less coolest. So maybe the idea is like, let's say there are golden armor onto it. So maybe the gold armor for the less cool one, and the lowest tier one is like maybe 20%, then 50, then 100%. So usually that's what they do. It's a bit different from like designing a character or something for a linear story gameplay telling kind of games. Yeah, for skin is a bit different because it's consumer based stuff. You want to make them buy it. Both still play the same role. Yeah, both have to be there. Yeah, yeah. You can't have one or the other. It's like a yin and yang stuff. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes. Mm, mm, yeah. 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 True. True. So okay. 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 Cool. Thanks for the question. So the question is, if let's say you're designing something that's blue sky, start from zero, right? How do you navigate through there to make sure that you're not straying too far off, right? So that's the role of art director. So first, you need the art director to be that one person with the visions to sort of understand what roughly what he or she wants. So the person doesn't need to know exactly what he or she wants, but they need to sort of create some sort of constraints. So usually what we do is we have like a tons of images or like sticky notes just to determine like, okay, for example, we want it to, okay, let's just Gigabash for example, right? So when we're designing Gigabash, our keyword was it has to be fun, it has to be destructive, like I want to have a monster fantasy power, destructive, and then it has to be couch playing friendly. So I can be like, maybe I was like, look, tell my friend, and all of us have a lot of fun and competitive kind of vibe. So we want this. Uh, so based on this is the core gameplay. Then after that, as the artist, I also need to start to think some sort of a direction based on this. So I will come up with a range of design. Then from there, he will sort of like, my director also like, okay, I think this work, this doesn't work. Then from there, we come up with a keyword, which is very, very ridiculous one. Modern retro. It doesn't fucking make sense at all. Yeah, oh, can you design something more modern retro? I was like, huh? Retro is retro, modern is modern. What do you mean by modern and retro? Right. So then it's the concept artist's job to start to research and see what are the elements that make modern design modern, and what are the elements that make retro design retro. Right. So one example I can give you is, for example, if you watch any TV series or movies nowadays, if you watch any genre that is related to fantasy genre, you realize their outfit now is very different with the original medieval outfit. Right? If you look at the original medieval outfit, it looks very funny, right? They got like the hat look like that, and they got like the weird ass oversized shirt with the tight pants with the socks, right? They don't look like that in like Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings. It's because they purposely tweak it to look a bit more modern. So for example, if you look at all the dresses in like let's say Game of Thrones, the shape, the cutting, everything is actually based on realistic dresses that we have nowadays. But then they tweak the material, they tweak the design cutting a little bit to look similar to the medieval timeline. So for example, maybe they don't have plastics, they have all leather, right? So this is what you do as a designer. You need to find out like what are the elements that what makes them look like what are they in their genre, and you mix it together. So then the art director will just be there to sort of supervise or like guide the artist to the direction. So there's going to be a lot of communication, or like you said, there's going to be a lot of like off track. So the art director is very important to like, hey, come back, come back, come back, come back, come back. Yeah, and of course there will be a lot of argument as well. Yeah, there will be a lot of arguments. This is very normal. You shouldn't be afraid to argue with your team. I think I argued with my art director multiple times during the production of Giga Bash. So it's always the art director always have to be the person to be like, no, 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 this is the right direction. Let's try it out. Let's try it out. Right. So that's how we navigate through this messiness of chaos. Yeah. Does that answer your questions? Yeah. So it's always important to have that document, lah, the MyRobot documents. Yeah, yeah, the sticky notes. What? Go back to this. Go back to this. Always go back to this. Yes, correct. Correct. Thank you. Any other questions? Yes. Okay. So how to maintain original when AI is here? Let me show you something funny. If we go back to the slide, this one, this back view is generated by AI. Ah, tahu kan? Ah, but not 100% lah. So what I did is, do you know this software called Wiscom? No? So it's like a software for product designer. So you draw the line art, you put it inside, it helps you render. So usually it started off for products and vehicle designer, but now they slowly advance it that concept artists can use it as well. So what I did is I draw this, I draw a line out of the back view, a very rough line out of the back view. I throw this first front view image into the image reference section. So it's sort of like I ask him to reference this design or the color or the textures. Then after that, I'll just type my prompt, say like this is the back view of a samurai with white fur and sword and whatever. And then it just generate this color version of the design. And after that, I just draw over and paint over a little bit more. So if you ask me as a, I know it's a very split division kind of thing. Some concept artists after that might cancel me after they watch the YouTube video, but it is what it is, right? So the problem is that for me, personal opinion is that I think AI has some sort of usefulness for designer. I don't think it's 100% bad. It's just that we need to learn and find ways to see how to use it. That's all. I don't think technology is ever bad. It's just the person who use it and how do they use it is that is the problem. The intention of using it is the problem, right? So for example, like this, can you tell us AI? You can't. Not until I told you, right? And the client probably wouldn't know unless we told them like, hey, we are using AI to generate this thing. Right? So the whole point is just that how do you use it? How do you use your creativity to input into the design? And in terms of, if let's say, can you compete with it in terms of keeping the originality? I think yes. I think we can still compete with it because actually, if you look through it, it's not really AI per se. It's not artificial intelligence. What it does is just take whatever there's already exists in the internet and mush it up, and this is just bleh out, right? So it's not AI. It's not artificial intelligence. Because if it's artificial intelligence, I'm gonna be scared, right? They probably can generate something by like brainstorming with you and stuff like that, right? So I don't think this is artificial intelligence. I still think that it's something that we can support. It can support the artist, and then based on what we want and create something that is meaningful for the game, right? Just like something as simple as if let's say you want to recreate the game, the Missing Sarah game, right? I don't think you can just type help me create a mobile game about girl missing on mobile blah blah blah. I don't think they can generate something like that. It's too complicated, right? There's too many hard labor that is required to think about all this ideation, all this design, art direction. So at the end of the day, I don't think it can replace, at least for now, or the next few years. Yeah, at least that's what I think. Please don't cancel me for those who are watching on YouTube. Yeah. So yeah, I think AI is actually helpful for us. Okay, that's a good question. So how do you convey messages on idea to a concept artist when you want them to direct them to do certain things, right? There are a lot of ways. Uh, Sometimes my art director will just draw something very ugly. Just think about it. That could be one way. Second way would be a lot of references, image references. Right? You can just find images like, yeah, this is roughly what I want, but then it's somewhere around this line, and then this is not what I want. So the idea is that you need to give them what you want and what you don't want, and then you let them find the range in the between, right? So this is one of the way. The other way is AI. Yeah, you'll be surprised that a lot of our clients will be like, they just generate some artwork from Mid-Journey and then just send to us. This is roughly what we want. You design it after that, but then you have to base on the art direction that they set. Right? So that's why AI is can be a useful tool. It can be a mean of communication between a non-artist and an artist. That's why I think it's helpful. Yeah. So after that, it's just based on what the artists do to recreate everything based on the references to something that is sort of original, and then there you go. So communication, just keep communicating. Yeah. Or like okay. So your question is how do you persuade your art director to take your design, right? Uh just flashback all the fights that I have. I was like, no, uh, okay, I think there are a lot of ways, but ultimately, first whether your design is it aligned with the game direction, the main goal. Is it aligned or not? If it's not aligned, then no matter how you fight, it's not gonna be helpful. Right? Then you're just being an asshole. Right? So you need to first understand whether your idea aligns with that or not. Would that make the game fun or not? Right? So if it's yes, just keep fighting it. I can tell you a lot of stories. Like for example, you know the laser in Gigabash? That after you die, you can become the laser and shoot person. The laser wasn't implemented there at the beginning. You know how it was implemented? It was forcefully implemented by this programmer. So he loved laser for some reason. Some fucking reason. He'd be like, hey, we need to design a post-death gameplay element. They'd be like, let's do laser. Then my other like, doesn't make sense. Why would there a giant laser in the world? No, I want laser. Then we thought that's the end of the conversation, right? Then the next weekly update is like, guys, I did it. Just but it's a very ugly one. Just there, done already. Then my art director is like, I guess it looks kind of good, and he proved the point. It does looks good. It's kind of fun, right? Then after that, he's still kind of like, but it still doesn't make sense in the storytelling and all. Then we thought that's the end of it, no more, right? We thought just a prototype. He come and from me, hey, Siew Hong, can you design the laser for me visually? Without the art director knowing, it's like, just design for me. Yeah, okay, fine, I got time, let's design. Show it to him. And the next week update, got concept art, got visual effects, and then got a prototype. Then my art director's like, let's play test and try. Then we play test, so I was like, hey, actually quite fun. And then that's how the laser went into the game. So yeah, sometimes you can do that. You can sort of forcefully do it at the side of your time and make sure your main task is still on track. So yeah, there's a lot of stories like that in Gigabash. Yeah. Any other questions? All good? Yeah, I guess that'll be all. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you.